2020. It's been quite a year for everyone to deal with, and for football it's been no different. Trying to finish out a season during a global pandemic was tough in itself, teams trying to figure out what the best thing to do for everyone involved, especially if you were a team due to have a historic moment in your club's history. On top of that, major tournaments had to be rescheduled and eventually postponed, and in adapting to a new way to experience football for players and fans, with many games being played in empty stadiums. But even through all of this, there were still memorable moments to be had that will always be remembered by football fans around the world. So if you're new here, welcome to the Bosman Viewing, and we're about to put your 2020 knowledge to the test with the toughest football quiz on YouTube series. And this is our Big Fat Football Quiz of the Year 2020 edition. So to kick things off, we have a question about Edouard Mendy, the new Chelsea goalkeeper that they signed in September 2020, which they've been looking for a first team goalkeeper for a while. But the question is, who did they sign him from? Did they sign Mendy from Rennes? Did they get him from another League One club in Marseille? Or was he actually the number one goalkeeper for Lyon at the time? Or did they actually sign the goalkeeper from Nantes? So that's the question we have. You have about 15 seconds to think of the answer. Okay, so if you gave the answer for Rennes on this one, then you get the perfect start. Well done in getting that one right. So on to the next question, and now we're going to head over to Italy and talk about the Serie A. And more specifically, we want to talk about the 2019-2020 season, when quite a few goals were scored, but the question we've got here is, who was the top goal scorer in Serie A that year? So was it Cristiano Ronaldo for Juventus? Was it actually Lukaku for Inter Milan? Was Immobile the top goal scorer in Serie A that year? Or was it actually former Man City striker Edin Dzeko? And again, you got about 15 seconds to decide. Okay, so the correct answer for this one is Lazio's Ciro Immobile. So well done if you got that one right. Now on to the next question, and this one is about Robert Lewandowski, who had a successful 2020, winning FIFA Men's Player of the Year and UEFA Men's Player of the Year, along with finishing as the Bundesliga's top goal scorer in 2019-2020. But the question is, how many goals did he score? Did he end up getting 30 goals that year? Did he actually end up scoring 31 goals that year? Or we're going to give you a few different options. Did he score 33 goals that year? Or was he able to rack up an unbelievable 34 domestic goals that year? And your time starts now. And the correct answer to this one was he scored 34 Bundesliga goals. Alright, now on to the next question, and this one is about the Premier League and talking about the Manager of the Month awards that they hand out. So for this one, we're going to get specific, and we want to know, who was it that won the award in September of 2020? So we're going to give you a few different options. So was it Jurgen Klopp that won it with Liverpool? Was it actually Jose Mourinho that won it with Spurs? Or was it actually Carlo Ancelotti that won the award with Everton? Or was it actually Leicester's manager Brendan Rodgers? And your time starts now. So the correct answer to this one was actually Everton's Carlo Ancelotti, who won it in September 2020. Now on to the next question, going over to the USA and talking about the MLS Cup, and it was won by Columbus Crew after they won the championship 3-0. But the question we want to know is, who was the team that they beat in the final? So here's the teams you got to select from. Was it Toronto FC that they beat in the final? Was it actually Chicago Fire that they met there? Did they end up beating Seattle Sounders? Or did they actually end up playing and beating LA Galaxy in the final? And your time starts now. So the correct answer to this one is Seattle Sounders. Now on to the next question. We're going to go back to Italy, talking about the Serie A and talk about Juventus. And they won the title in the 2019-20 season, and the final game that clinched it for them was a 2-0 win against Sampdoria in July 2020. But who scored the second goal of that game? Was it Federico Bernardeschi? Was it actually Paulo Dybala? Or was it the man that everyone knows, Cristiano Ronaldo? Or was that final goal scored by Juan Cuadrado? You got about 15 seconds to decide. And the correct answer to this one was Bernardeschi. Now on to the next question, and we're going to be talking about the 2020 Champions League final that was contested against PSG and Bayern Munich, with Bayern winning the game 1-0 to win their 6th European Cup title. But the question we want to ask is, where was the venue the game was played at? Was the final held at Wembley Stadium? Was it actually held at the Estadio de Luz? Did they play that game at the Gazprom Arena? Or did they play the final in Germany's own Allianz Arena? And your time starts now. And the correct answer is the Estadio de Luz. Now for the next question, we're going to go to Spain and talk about the La Liga. And for the 2019-2020 season, Lionel Messi finished as the top goal scorer with 25 goals. What we want to know is, who actually finished that season in second place? Was it Karim Benzema for Real Madrid? Or was it actually Messi's teammate Luis Suarez that ended up taking second place? Was it Raul Garcia taking that second spot? Or was it actually Liverpool's ex-player Iago Aspas? And your time starts now. So the correct answer here was Karim Benzema, who finished the season with 21 goals. Now for the next question, we're going to be talking about Liverpool, and they had a historic 2020 by winning the Premier League title, their first domestic league title win since 1990. But we want to get quite specific on this one, and how many points did they finish the season with? So did they end up with 97 points to win the title? Was it actually with 98 points to get them there? Did they actually finish the season with 99 points? Or were they able to get to that century and win it with 100 points? So think about it, and then your time starts now. So if you answered with 99 points on this one, then you get that one correct. Now for the next question, going back to La Liga and now talking about Celta Vigo. And they recorded the biggest home win of the 2019-2020 season in La Liga with a 6-0 victory. But the question we have is, what was the team that they were able to beat in June 2020? Was it up against Mallorca they got that victory? Were they able to score 6 goals against Espanyol? Was the game actually against Alaves? Or were they able to win that record victory against Granada? Now you've got about 15 seconds to decide. And the correct answer for this one was against Alaves, was who they got that victory with. Now going back to Italy, and we want to talk about the Player of the Month in Serie A. And like before, we're going to get specific on this one, and we want to know which player got Player of the Month in September of 2020. And you have a few different options to choose from. Was it Atalanta's Alejandro Gomez? Was it actually Zlatan Ibrahimovic of AC Milan? Was it Andrea Bellotti of Torino? Or was it actually Roma's Henrik Mkhitaryan? And again, your time starts now. And the correct answer for this one, Player of the Month, was Alejandro Gomez. Now on to our next question. We're going to be going to Scotland and talking about the 2020 Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Hearts. Celtic ended up winning this game after a penalty shootout to become treble winners for the fourth successive year. But the question we have is, who scored the final winning penalty kick? Was it Lee Griffiths that scored that goal? Was it actually Callum McGregor that finished it? Was it club captain Scott Brown that scored that penalty kick? Or was it actually Christopher Ajer? And you have about 15 seconds to decide. And the correct answer for this one was Christopher Ajer, who converted that winning penalty kick. Now for the next question, going back to Serie A, and we're going to be talking about the clubs that competed that year in the 2019-2020 season, which of course Juventus ended up winning the title that year, but what we want to know is which team finished in 4th place. So a few different options. Was it Atalanta that took 4th place? Was it actually Lazio that finished there? Was it AC Milan that finished in the top 4? Or was it actually Roma that finished out the season in 4th place? And again, you got about 15 seconds to decide. And the correct answer to this one was Lazio, who finished in 4th place. Now we're going to go back to the UK and talk about the Premier League again, but this time talk about attendances for the 2019-2020 season. And the question we have is, which club recorded the lowest home game attendance during that season? So was it Bournemouth that struggled to fill their ground? Was it actually Watford that couldn't get fans into the game? Is it Burnley that holds that record? Or is it with Norwich City? And again, you have about 15 seconds to decide. And the correct answer to this question was Bournemouth. And now on to the final question of our quiz, going back to Spain and talk about La Liga, and this time focusing on the 2020-2021 season. And the question we have for you is, what player scored the first goal of the season? And just like before, you've got a few options to choose from. Was it young superstar João Felix? Was it actually Yangel Herrera that scored that first goal? Was it Jesus Navas that grabbed the goal? Or was it the player that everyone knows, Lionel Messi? And as you guess it, your time starts now. So the correct answer, the player that grabbed the goal, was Yangel Herrera. And that's us at the end of our Big Fat Football Quiz of the Year for 2020. We We hope you enjoyed it. How many did you get right? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, this is the Bosman viewing. Check out our other football content if you like this. Thumbs it up if you can. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you on the next one.